Hallo. La meg bare få chatten. Alright. Hallo, hallo, hallo. How's it going? Han henger og pendler. La meg bare dele dette på Facebook også. Skal vi se. Der. Ja, jeg tror det stemmer, Jarle. Hvis det er det. Står det på etternavnet? Jeg tror det stemmer. Jeg tror det er mange som går med Atari-ting uten å vite hva det er. Skal vi se. Twitch.tv .red Kom og heng. Atari er jo veldig lenge siden. Men de var jo en ting ute på 80-tallet og på 90-tallet. Og ja, det stemmer at de er en del av Blade Runner-universet også. Så det er jo litt morsomt. Anyway. Skal vi ta en titt da? Hva er dette her for noe? Hvordan er lydnivået på spillet? Jeg tror det skal være ok. Have you played Atari today? Welcome to Atari 50. Begin your interactive journey through Atari history. Skal vi se. In a world where pinball was king, a company called Sjekker was where it all started. Computer Space, den har jeg sett i virkeligheten, den maskinen.
Some reason I'm looking through the San Jose Mercury in the just random stuff section for sale. And I see world's first video game, Computer Space. No price, just call. I'm like, wow, I'm pretty interested in this. So I called the guy. I said, so you got a Computer Space? Yeah. He goes, yeah. First game ever. Okay, great.
Hallo, Sablevel.
What color is it? And he goes, well, what color do you want? I'm like, wow, this is getting very interesting because who has a whole bunch of Computer Spaces and who would know that they came in all these different colors? He goes, I got a yellow, a solid blue, metal flake blue, and metal flake red. And he goes, a whole bunch of other
Verdens første dataspill, egentlig.
Okay, great. Want to come up and see them. These were in a Quonset hut on a sunflower seed farm off of Highway 80 in Dixon, California, halfway between, you know, the Bay Area and Sacramento. And these things hadn't been moved in, you know, probably since 1975. And so I got in touch with Nolan and showed him the pictures and scratched his head and then like a light bulb went off in his head. He goes, these were Ted Dabney's. These were Ted Dabney's units. This was his route. When he left, he took a route that we had And he goes, this yellow one's the first one. He goes, I know it. That yellow one is the very first one. I kept the first one, which is a beautiful yellow computer space, and I kept
Så
Pong
dette
number
delvis
46.
museum, delvis spill,
And
da,
we
basically.
got the rest of them
Atari 50.
running and working as good as we could. We got it all for $5,000. I don't regret the purchase one bit.
Okay, så
Not for a minute.
Okay. L. Alcorn's business card. Han ene grunnleggeren av det første dataspillet. Atari Inc. 1972.
Well, I'd say 30 years to pretty much the present.
Jeg vet ikke hvor mye tid er det. Kanskje det er
to
det.
the back rooms and the side streets, and generally been an unsavory type of place. What we want to do is bring the amusement game to age. If we can give it a new zip and a pizzazz, it's going to be financially successful, as well as, I think, a very serious part in the leisure time activity of the American people.
The marriage of traditional pinball machines and computer technology has resulted in the birth of a new breed of amusement games. And Nolan Bushnell is the man handing out the cigars. Bushnell has developed two such games, Computer Space and Pong, and believes that they and others like them will move the pinball industry out of America's bus stations and bowling alleys and into the space age. In 1971, Bushnell invented Computer Space, but sold production rights to Nutting Associates of Mountain View, California, for royalties based on the number of games sold. It proved a good deal for both parties. Sales already exceed 1,500 machines. Computer Space, like Pong, sells for around $1,000 and is played on the screen of a standard television set, which has been programmed to display the desired game. In Computer Space, the player controls a rocket ship, which is trying to shoot down enemy flying saucers while avoiding their missiles. If the player scores more hits than the enemy saucers, he gets one free play.
Mye bra kinnskjegg på den tida.
By the time Bushnell invented Pong...
Okay. Pong. Puppy Pong. Dude, se på den maskinen! Se på den konsolen! God damn. Se på den nydelige plakaten. Fantastisk. Home Pong. Det var den første hjemmekonsolen, det, basically. Breakout. Designed by Steve Jobs, ja. Stemmer det. Og Steve Wozniak. Det er helt sant at det var de som lagde den. Men det er Pong playable her. Ja. Skal vi spille Pong? Og jeg styrer begge. Uff. Ah. God damn it. Det var ikke så lett når jeg må styre begge. Se her. Nå har vi det gående. Var det Pong inne i Commander Key nå? Det visste jeg ikke. Du kan save i Pong. Det tror jeg ikke har vært mulig før. Lage save games i Pong. Ok, hva var neste spillet som var playable her? Warner kjøpte de i 76 allerede, ja. Det trodde jeg ikke var så tidlig. Breakout. Ok. Dette skal jo egentlig spilles med sånn paddle, tror jeg. Boop, boop. Kanskje du tenker på Arkanoid? Det var en sånn ny versjon av Breakout, var det ikke det? Neo Breakout, ja. De har laget en ny versjon av det til denne samlingen. Skal vi prøve det? 2022. Laget av Digital Eclipse. Kult. Rad. Ok, nå snakker vi. Hallo, Super Ninja. Pilot. Shit. Det du alltid har lyst til å få til i Breakout er å få ballen oppå. Sånn at den kan bounce rundt oppå der. Come on. Der. Oi, 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 se her. Nice. Det er en god idé til et spill, faktisk. Så her har vi Evolva. Oh, shit. Jeg digger estetikken på dette her. Kom igjen, treff den. Nei. Damn it. Nei! Fuck! Spill elendig her. Come on. Det var nesten. Det var vanskelig å treffe en fuckings. Der. Skal sikkert flytte chatten når jeg dør her. Ok, sånn. Hvor kan jeg flytte den hen, mon tro? Der nede. Sånn. Tenker vi har den der. Det går an å styre den raskere, men da er den sykt sensitiv. Hvis jeg bruker høyre stikke. Jeg kan jo prøve å gjøre det da. Ja, det var egentlig... Nei. Det var faktisk ikke så lett. Damn it! Ja, det var... det var Breakout. Neo Breakout. Ganske kult. Skal vi høre de snakke om... hvordan det var på Atari-kontoret. Jeg mener jeg har fått med meg at det skulle være noen sånne der, crazy historier fra arbeidsmiljøet på Atari. Skal vi se. Early arcade games like Tank and Pong were not software programs. They were built purely out of custom computer hardware. Det er ganske crazy. Ja, de kan endre sensitivitet. Whatever. Whatevs. Raycasar. Did they do drugs at Atari? Her er han.
You will hear stories of hot tubs in the lobby and drug use in the office. And I'm here to tell you that none of that happened in my department.
We
Stemmer det,
started
Superninja
smoking
Pilot?
pot right in our office. Rob and I were like the premier pot. Sorry, Rob. I and some other person who occasionally shared an office with me for 5 years at Atari, however that frickin' worked, we would just fire up right in the office. It's like, who knows why? It's like, this is like, it's illegal. It's like, it wasn't even a sense of privilege. It was just mindlessness.
I worked in a satellite office. I started in 1977, which was still pretty early. It was only 18 months since the 2600 came out. But there was no hot tub in the lobby of the office that I went to. There was no drug use in Atari, though I don't doubt that it was over where Howard and Todd Fry were working.
Drugs were consumed at Atari by all kinds of people at all levels of management, from the bottom to the top and all over engineering. Not everybody did drugs, but some people did, and some people enjoyed them. And some people abused them, and some people went to the hospital on them. And but by and large, drugs were a relatively nominal factor. Drugs, you know, there was a lot of marijuana, and it participated a lot in brainstormings. So we had the way of, you know, trying to incorporate drugs into our productivity model.
I went home and I smoked a joint, a little bit of cocaine and a little bit of psilocybin in it. And I was sitting there, it was about half gone when I realized, oh, you could do that. And it's like I put it out and I went and I wrote a page of notes. And my design for that kernel was exactly what it ended up shipping. It was like, that's a tremendous amount of effort, actually, to get everything organized.
they did have good deliveries of cannabis in the inter-office mail. That was probably the primary use of those yellow manila envelopes. I think it was Fridays or Monday. I think it was Fridays when you get these really thick envelopes coming through the system. And it was weird. There was a guy working there, and his job was he was the weed dealer. That was his sole job.
Fantastic.
And there was a very straight German VP of hardware down the hallway in the building. I have no idea. And he complained to management about the smell of pot smoke in the corridors. So they got him an office in a different building.
I've been asthmatic since I've been 12. I need drugs to breathe. I did not do drugs because drugs to me were something that let you get up in the morning, and breathe. So and nor did I think I wanted to mix those things. The high of me was doing the work, and I was always a happy guy. So I just didn't feel I needed it. So I never did drugs, but there were a lot there.
Don't put too much stock in the fact that every Atari employee was stoned out of their minds while making games.
I mean, there was all kinds of drugs consumed at Atari. But the real drug
De har forskjellige historier her.
Was going into a store and seeing your product, seeing your game on a shelf.
Konge. Dette var på 70-tallet. Sykt å tenke på. Det er sykt å tenke på, egentlig. Sprint 8. 8 steering wheels. Jeg har ikke hørt om Sprint 8, tror jeg. Oh lord. How? How to play? Vent. Controls. Hjelp. Ok, A. Ok. Ok, jeg er den røde. Og så er det 2 gir også. What? Kom an. Dette var vanskelig uten et ratt. Shit, ass. Det var ikke så lett. Skal vi se. The first electronic music visualizer. En hardware visualizer til musikken din. Fire truck. Unique two-player cooperative game. Super Breakout. Lunar Lander. Ok, så de har laget en ny Lunar Lander. Men la oss sjekke ut originale Lunar Lander først. Det har jeg spilt før. Insert coin. Okay. Der. Så er jo pointet at du skal Hva det se? Ja, der, ja. Skal vi prøve å lande? Shit. Kødder du med meg? Ok. Prøver igjen. Har dere spilt dette før? Så grunnen til at grafikken ser så rar ut er fordi at det var et sånt såkalt vektorspill. Så skjermen kunne bare tegne streker. Det var selve teknologien på skjermen. Den kan kun tegne hvite streker. Det er derfor det ser sånn ut som dette her. Og kun rette streker. Så du ser alt består egentlig av rette streker her. Come on. Ja, det er basically litt som et tegnebrett, ja. Som en sånn etch-a-sketch. Se. Så dere det? God damn. Skal vi prøve med litt mer tyngdekraft? Dude. God dang it, det var vanskelig å få den motoren til å samarbeide. Ok, så det var gamle Lunar Lander. Skal vi sjekke ut den nye versjonen de har laget? Vector Sector. Laget av Digital Eclipse. Oi. Dette er basically litt sånn så Asteroid. Okay. Get ready. Så skal jeg lande, ja. Dude. No! Nei. No! Yes! Sick. Oh, wow. Whoa! Oh my god. Da visste ikke helt hvordan jeg skulle styre. Prøver igjen. Ja, det er litt sånn res, ja. Det er litt res-aktig. Åh! Leg! Ok. Shit. Oh my god. Wow. Det var jo faktisk ganske fett. Ah, ok, så er det sånn kjempest, ja. Sånn blander flere spill. Det var kult. Prøv en gang til. Select game. Wow, vent. Dette var i hvert fall freaking. Men skal det gå an å lande? Dude. Kødder du med meg? Au. Dude. Nei! Nei, Tempest det er jo litt sånn utdatert nå om dagen. Lunar Lander. Her er maskinen. Touch me. Dude, se på det artworket. Fantastisk. Du, denne pakka her er dritkul. Det er så mye detaljer de har puttet inn i denne. Det er basically som å gå på et museum, dette her. Asteroids! Planet Grab skulle det egentlig hete. Ok. Det visste jeg ikke. Du, det artworket er bare nydelig. Se på det der, da. Se på dette her. Hot damn. Missile Command. Missile Command T-skjorte. Du, se på den T-skjorta. Se på det designet der. Faen med sick artwork, ass. Hei, man. Hei, Kjell 1984. Bare lese meldingene di her. Hei, man. Tusen takk skal du ha. Veldig snilt sagt. Velkommen. Setter veldig pris på det. OK. Hologrammer. Holographic handheld. What the hell? Tror ikke jeg har hørt om denne her.
When was this? 1980, 81, that time frame. Prior to Ray Kassar's emergence, I was part of the executive staff, you know, and Nolan, Joe, I, Steve Bristow, Gil, Dennis Groth, finance, you know. We were all friends and no politics and all that, and we all worked together and part of the team. It was great. Once Ray took over, nope, it was all a closed office, and he met with all his hires from Procter & Gamble, and so I realized, okay, I'm out of this. I'm either going to have to quit because Nolan had gone,
Da Warner
Joe
Bros.
had gone,
Took over Atari
Lipkin,
i
everybody had gone.
76.
I figured, well, I'll go back. This is my baby. I'm
Så
going to do
endret
it
de
one more
kulturen
time.
helt.
And we had
Så
used
det
holography.
ble mye mer corporate.
We couldn't keep secrets at Atari. We were just no good at it. So we decided the best thing to do was put out disinformation. So one of the best ones was the next coin-op game is going to have holography in it. It was like, what the hell is that? I knew what it was, because having, you know, been to college and studied this physics and stuff. But that was just. But anyway, I decided, well, I'll do something. Let's do something in holography. Maybe there's something there. I'll take it. Sounds hard. Sounds interesting. I know a little bit about it. And we proceeded to explore holography and what could be done, and came up with a holographic toy that basically sold it to Ray, saying, how would you like, because the cartridge video game business seemed to be very good, how would you like to have a system where the cartridge, it's a cartridge-based system, but the cartridges are half the cost of, everything is half the cost of the VCS. And, hey, go ahead. It were very simple. They were nothing more than an LED, a simple LED game, the handheld LED game in those days. The only difference was we had a hologram with two images on it. You look through this box, and there were two lamps inside, and when you'd crash a spaceship, you'd see a hologram of a spaceship crashing. And but you could look through this half-metallized Mylar and play a Space Invader game or something like that.
Whoa.
We did all the work, put everything together, got a chip designed, package designed, and at the end, Ray wouldn't. We even took it to the toy fair or the consumer. And marketing wouldn't show it, wouldn't back it up, and we did it ourselves, engineering, and we think we sold 100,000 of them, but Ray would not release it, just wouldn't do it. And I realized that was it. They're not going to release that. I mean, this is now in a time when if it failed, you wouldn't even notice it. It wouldn't be a pimple on the balance sheet, but they were afraid to do it. Back when the whole company was, we're sure we'd do it. So that was the end of my career at Atari.
Her kan du se hologrammene her fra den maskinen. Wow. Det må ha vært sykt å jobbe der på den tiden. Du visste jo sikkert ikke at du var en del av... At du var en del av historien på den måten som vi nå i ettertid vet at de var. Asteroid Deluxe. Det tror jeg ikke jeg har spilt. 1981. Det er da jeg ble født. Oh my god, se på dette her. Wow. Dette er jo en sånn vektorskjerm, og så selvfølgelig da så kunne du jo ha et statisk trykt bilde på skjermen. Sånn som det ser i bakgrunnen her. Dude, jeg ble stresset av den musikken. Går jeg tom for tid, eller hva er det som er greia? Oh, shit. Boom. Got him. Not. Alright. Ok, du kan skru opp hvor mye han skal gløde. Hvis det ser ut. Kult. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Warlords. Ok. Tror ikke jeg har hørt om Warlords. Se her, ja. Her er det faktisk noe som ligner litt på pixelgrafikk. The fuck er det jeg skal gjøre her? Jeg gidder ikke... vi tar noe annet. Jeg gidder ikke å lære meg dette her. Centipede, det kjenner vi til, folkens. Gjør vi ikke det? Her har du designdokument. Wow. Sykt å se. Denne artworken har jo alle sett, sant? Det er en av de mest kjente stykkene av artwork fra Atari er dette her. Her er programmereren av Centipede. Donna Bailey. Det er mange damer som jobber i spill. Ja, faen så kule skjermer. Det ser ut som de er bare nakne bak de skjermene der. Sprøtt. Tempest, ja. Maze Invaders. Space Jewel. Gravitar. Millipede. Liberator. Quantum. Vi er fremdeles på Arkade. Firefox, ja. Major Havoc. Cloak and Dagger, det... iRobot med Will Smith. Nei, det er ikke den. While Atari's origins were in the video arcade, it had also created the first device that would put video games into millions of American homes. The arcade comes home, yeah. Don't watch TV tonight, play it. For de som ikke vet, dette var jo før. Dette var jo lenge før Nintendo Entertainment System. Flere år før. Atari VCS, Video Computer System, senere så kan det bli kalt 2600. Fantastisk design på den. Se på det designet. Og den fine trepanel. Dekselet der. What's a VCS?
On the simplest level, what the VCS, the Atari 2600,
Ja,
what that
fysiske brytere er
it's
awesome.
a combination of plastic and computer chips that enables you to play a video game, an interactive video game on your home television, which is something that never really happened before.
If you're making an arcade game, it begins as a hardware project. If you need something more in the hardware, just put it in the hardware and you can use it in your game. The Atari 2600, we didn't have that luxury. The game was already in Grandma's house. It was already hooked up to her TV. And all we could do is make a different cartridge, sell that to the person, he plugs it in.
It was the thing that made video games a worldwide phenomenon. And all it is it's a box that enables you to play an interactive game on your TV. But on a cultural level, that's such a huge thing to do, because there were two things that achieved that changed the world, literally changed the world. One is it put computers in homes. At a time where IBM only had about 10,000 PCs sold altogether, Atari had millions of units installed, and every one of those was a computer in the home. The other thing it did was it created an interactive medium with television, which was always a passive medium. Before video games, people were just zombies sitting on the couch watching TV. But video games turned people into zombies jumping up and down on the couch yelling at the TV. And that was a very different experience. And I think that was huge in terms of taking people from a passive state to an active state. And we're still learning the implications of that.
Det var basically veldig mange familier sin første datamaskin. Her er kontrolleren. Den er jo ikonisk. Paddelen til Pong. Combat. Sjekk koden. Og dette er koden til sånn som spillerne, sånn som det så ut. Så du koder ikke sånn som du gjør i dag. Du koder direkte inn i hardwaren. I noe som heter assembly. Så dette programmeringsspråket heter assembly. Og i stedet for å gå via moderne programmeringsspråk, de er jo flere lag. Det er flere lag mellom programmeringsspråkene i dag og hardwaren. Det er mange lag mellom. Men her, dette programmeringsspråket er maskinspråk. Det er direkte input i mikrochippene. Og det krever litt skill å skrive programmer på den måten. Air Sea Battle. Er det heks dette her? Det er vel det, ja. Det står her. 2 kilobyte, dude. 2 kilobyte. Spill som tar 2 kilobyte. Kødder du med meg? Tenk litt på det. 2 kilobyte. Surround. Vent, er dette Snake, basically? Dette er 1 mot 1, så jeg kan ikke spille det alene. Ja, det er ganske hardcore, ja. Det skal jeg love deg at det er.
The entire reason that Atari created the Atari 20...
Ja, presentasjonen på denne samlingen er nydelig. De har virkelig gjort en innsats her. Jeg er helt enig i Odland.
Was to put their arcade hits into the home. If we can sell home versions of our arcade hit games into the home, we can sell millions of them instead of just take quarters from the thousands of people who go to arcades.
Ja, det er en annen ting. Det er en annen ting også, så ble vel at de legger ikke noe imellom, de er helt ærlige, men samtidig, hva skal Atari gjøre, liksom? Atari er bare en brand nå om dagen. Hvorfor skal de ikke kunne si nøyaktig hva de vil, liksom?
Hardware was designed to make it possible to play Tank and Pong. That's about all that they did in the hardware.
So the distinction is this. Coin-Up gets to use more expensive hardware. They get to use
Drugs on a flight.
Tons and tons of hardware, and they get to refresh their hardware all the time.
I had played an outlaw-like game in the arcade. I think it was Midway, and I was just told to make a game. So I said, "Well, here's an idea: 2 guys shooting at each other." And so I made that game. My goal is to try to make it like the arcade game, so I could look at the arcade game and say, "This is what it has to do." So there really wasn't any need for me to have communication with the arcade guys. I'm particularly proud of the Atari 2600 Canyon Bomber because it also has the Atari arcade game Depth Charge in it. So it turns out that in a 2KB Atari 2600 cartridge, I simulated both Canyon Bomber and Depth Charge, which were probably $3,000 arcade game hardware.
Wow.
When I was young, when I was little, I remember there was this drugstore, and in their comic book rack, they had these abridged versions of great literature. You'd read it, and it was the whole story of Treasure Island. War and Peace, a comic book. But that whole notion of an abridged version, that is what was going to happen.
When I did Donkey Kong, I had, not surprisingly, absolutely no contact with Nintendo. Coleco was able to get me a machine. So I had a machine that I could play and look at, and I had already played the game. And like David said, with Canyon Bomber, the game is the spec. Frankly, the hardware is so different in its capabilities that...
Altså, hvis dere har sett arkadeversjonen av Donkey Kong, den kan umulig gjenskapes på en Atari VCS.
I can't think of any value I would have had getting in touch with anybody at Nintendo. It's like talking to the guy who created the Porsche Carrera about making a bicycle. I mean, it's like, there's not a lot there. Not a lot you're going to tell me. Here's this masterpiece and do it on this toaster, and I was young enough and stupid enough to not be intimidated. And I wasn't, because I was just a kid. I was like, no big deal.
Konge. Canyon Bomber, ja. Tic 3D tic-tac-toe. Keyboard controller. Where are the games you play on your own TV set? Remember Pong? Well, that was just the beginning. Activision, ja. Er det noen spillbare Activision-spill her? Det er ikke alle som vet det, men Activision var jo den første tredjeparts utvikleren ever i dataspill. Så som det står her, så var det utbrytere fra Atari startet sitt eget selskap Activision. Så begynte de å lage spill for Atari. Adventure. Non-linear adventure game. It is considered to be the start of the adventure genre of video games. Ja, her Tim Schafer snakker her. Det er kult.
I'd have to say one of the more influential Atari games that hit me hard was Adventure.
Adventure had been a very popular game. Adventure is related to really a nerdy game. It's related to like text adventures or to Dungeons and Dragons more than any of the other things, any of the other intellectual property or content on the 2600.
So many games were just like kind of shooters and, combat and whatnot, things like that were very simple. But Adventure really broke the mold for what the 2600 was capable of.
But one of the most, I feel like magical, impactful moments with the Atari games is that we got Adventure. And I saw the cover, at the drugstore, because that's where we had to buy video games, at the drugstore behind the photo counter. And I got it home. I was so excited to play it. I just didn't read the instructions. I just ripped it out of the box and like played it and started playing it. And I was like, oh, there's Dot, and there's like, you know, the duck chasing me, and I got an arrow, and I can't figure out what's happening. He ate me. Oh my God.
The weird thing about Adventure was the dragons were supposed to be dragons, but they just looked like ducks. I don't know what they were thinking there.
The bridge and the bat, and it was so baffling. I really loved that experience of somewhat confused experience, and I feel like that's actually something I love still in games now. When there's that moment of like, what the? Where you just get games can do that. They can just surprise you, and they can make you feel really bewildered. And then as you slowly figure out how they work, that's part of the pleasure of them. I think is that not knowing what to expect in them. So that moment of being surprised by Adventure is really stuck with me. Another thing I like about Adventure that I try to incorporate is that feeling the game is really alive. The characters who are in that world live even when you're not looking at them on the screen. Like when the dragon or the bat flies on the screen in Adventure, you feel like it's been on a journey. It's been somewhere. Oh, the bat went over and it stole the shield. It stole the sword, and now it's in the rooms. Like you don't feel like it was just spawned in that room. It's been in another room doing bat adventures.
And what it provided for me was a sense of mystery and exploration that would later influence the 2D adventure games that I would make that would help launch my career.
Da kjenner jeg til Cliff Bleszinski. Lagde Gears of War. Programming the VCS is hard. Og det er basically hele kretskortet.
So one of the first questions they asked me at Atari was, what do you want to work on? So I just said to him, I said, what's the dirtiest, most basic elemental system that you have? And he goes, oh, well, that's the VCS. And I said, well, that's where I want to start.
I mean, the constraints on the programmers were worse than I ever even imagined were possible.
2600 doesn't draw a screen. It doesn't draw anything. What it does is it has these little logic devices, these counters and shift registers that say, this is the start of the screen, this is the left side of the screen. The electron beam is moving to the right. I'm going to count. I know how fast the electron beam is moving. I'm going to count until the electron beam is somewhere on the screen, and then I'm going to change the color on the screen for a little itsy bit.
What the fuck, dude? Wow.
There's only one console where you have to think about the electron gun moving across the screen and what machine cycle you're on and when you can show stuff on the screen. That's such a fun and unique and annoying challenge that it really hooks you.
It's the most fun I've ever had making a game. What do you say, Dave?
Fun might not be the word. You know, it is the most challenging thing you could do. When we were doing it at Atari and at Activision, there were fewer than 100 people in the world who could do what we were doing. And that in itself was, you know, very positive, very uplifting. It's really a sense of accomplishment. If you can create something that, you know, 1 million people love on this horribly limited piece of hardware, you've created something. You know, have a sense of accomplishment.
Så basically, det du ser som sprites og sånn på Atari 2600, Atari VCS, det er jo ikke sprites I realiteten da.
There are very few things more technical challenging than trying to get a game out of the VCS in the first place, because the VCS was a very technically limited machine. It sounds like a fabulous thing, and when it first came out it was, because people had never seen anything like it.
I don't know if other people are as rewarded by it, but you...
Ja, jeg helt enig, Odland. Dette her liksom nye gold standard for den type samlinger.
Overcoming tremendous challenges. There's nothing that's easy to do on the 2600. And you're winning, right? I love winning.
And the other thing that's fun about playing them still is that they're all 60 frames a second. They have to hit that or the screen won't draw, you know? So they're all even much better than I think consoles that came out a few years afterwards. They all feel really fast when you play them. No Atari game has any sort of lag or anything because they had no option to have lag.
It's like when today, in hindsight, people criticize the first screen of Donkey Kong on the 2600. When I finished that screen, I thought it was a miracle. And you get people on Facebook today saying it's the biggest piece of junk I ever saw. And you just have to understand perspective where you were at the time.
The programmers that
de lagde jo Pac-Man for Atari 2600, og det er jo regnet for å være en av de dårligste, kanskje den dårligste versjonen av Pac-Man.
worked with that machine were magicians.
Asteroids for hjemmemaskin, ja. Asteroids på 2600, det må vi nesten sjekke ut. Oh my god. Ser dere forskjellen? Ser dere forskjellen mellom det og vektorspillet fra tidligere? Nei, så dette er jo da sjekk når jeg trykker start og resetter spillet. Se sånn det ser ut. Se. Sånn. Der. det er ikke noe program. Det er ikke noe program som lastes, liksom. Han bare resetter hardwaren sånn. Fantastisk. Adventure er nok det mest avanserte spillet, ja. Real Doser. Super Breakout. Atari begynte trenden med å kalle ting for super, tror jeg. Det er interessant. Dude, se på det artworket der. Se på det fuckings... Se på det der. Sick. Se, Warner Bros-logoen er der. Det la ikke merke til først. Se, ja. Det er Warner Bros-logoen. Haunted House var også ganske avansert. Haunted House er regnet for å være kanskje det første... Ja, det står jo... Jeg så ikke teksten. Det er regnet for å være det første survival horror-spillet. På mange måter. Igjen. Fantastisk artwork. Se på det der, da! Putt det på i t-skjorte. Det ser faen meg så sick ut. Ok, så de har laget en reimagining av dette også. Sjekk ut det, da. Å, er det to spillere? Vi kan sjekke det ut. Ok, vi er to øyne som går rundt omkring. Ja, helt enig i Real Doser. Look around. Okay, helpful items. Okay. Kan bare bære en ting om gangen. Det er akkurat som Resident Evil, basically bare veldig forenklet. Head upstairs, okay? This door is locked. Det er øyeepler, eyeballs, normally. Nøkkelen. Creep carefully or ghostly. Ghosty there will steal one of your lives. Okay. Artig. Skal vi se. Vi kan jo se hvordan originalen Haunted House er. Der ser dere inspirasjonen da. 2 øyne, sant? For en lyd. Nå ser du originalen, så ble det. All right. Select game variation. Det er forskjellige moduser, ja, ok. Yars Revenge. The first game developed by Howard Scott Warshaw. Originally asked to create a home version of an arcade game called Star Castle, Warshaw decided instead to create an original VCS game and enhanced with an elaborate storyline that was turned into a comic book. Folk var litt tynne på 70-tallet. Yar's Revenge. Yar, det er jo da Ray baklengs, og Ray Kassar var jo da presidenten av Atari på den tiden. Ja, The Executive Floor Atari. Ja, stemmer. Dude, fet artwork. Her er reklamen.
A fly.
Det er tydeligvis film, dette her.
I'll have a mutant fly. Hello, Yar. You'll need some protection. Ion zone. Shift chroma. Intensify. Okay, now you'll need some weapons. You have a formidable enemy. The Kotile.
Dette var fett laget, what the hell?
Watch it, Yar. He has a lethal drone. And some other tricks up his sleeve. Spiral. Go. Good move, Yar. Now I have a surprise for you. A Sorlon cannon. Use it, Yar.
Er dette CG? Veldig tidlig CG eller noe?
Got him. That's revenge. Yar's Revenge. A video game. Yeah, this can be fun. This can be a lot of fun. Like asteroids.
Det der må jo være CG, vel?
Do it.
Jeg skjønner ikke hva annet det kan være.
Beautiful. Watch it. Disintegrate. Now let's go into deeper space. Galactic map. Sector 11.
Det var awesome. Det var dritfett.
Sights.
Jeg har ikke sett det der før.
Cylon warships. Attack. Steady. Stand by. Photons. Star Raiders. That's it. Star Raiders.
Grunnen til at jeg tror det er CG, er fordi det er så smooth real doser.
That'll keep them on their toes.
Det kan selvfølgelig være rotoskop av 2D-animasjoner.
Let's see what we can come up with next.
We're Atari. We have the vision, and we invented the technology to bring the excitement home to you.
Se her. Her står det. Jeg hadde rett. To sell Yars' Revenge, Atari produced a 2-minute commercial with state-of-the-art computer graphics. Jeg kjenner igjen 80-talls CG når jeg ser det. Og for de som ikke vet det, så var den første CG 100% CG-scenen i en film var i Star Trek 2 The Wrath of Khan, som var 1980. Det var 1982 det. Som var Lucasfilm som gjorde, eller ILM da. Men dette var en reklame. Men ja, dritfett. Utrolig kult med sånn gammeldags CG. Så Yars' Revenge, det som er litt spesielt med det, er at jeg tror at en del av grafikken faktisk er bare... Han viser bare råkoden til spillet. Ja, så der. Det der... Den der baren imellom der, det er faktisk kode. Fuck jeg opp nå. Yo! Shit. Ja, klart å unngå det. Nei! Skal vi sjekke ut den nye versjonen de har laget? Wow! Damn! Da har de jo ganske fet estetikk. Hva gjør jeg med denne? Åja. Ikke det, i hvert fall. Så kan jeg fett. Se da. Ja. Skal vi se om vi klarer å ta vekk de siste blokkene da. Come on. Nei! Ja. Hva gjør jeg nå da? Originale manualene. Game 0. This is the simplest version. A good choice for young children to play. Okay. Cool. Faktisk, de har også inkludert ikke bare gamle Atari-spill. Ja, altså her har vi jo hele historien med E.T. og det der. The game industry was about to suffer a major market crash. Der var den Atari 2600 med uten trepanel. Denne kalte de for Darth Vader, tror jeg. Intellivision. Hvis dere har hørt Ukas podcast, så snakker vi om han Tommy Tallarico. Han har jo kjøpt Intellivision-navnet, han eier det nå. Og prøver å lansere en sånn scam-konsol. Som heter Intellivision Amico. Mattel lagde Intellivision, ser du. Ja. Nice, Riddler. Jeg har også spilt en Intellivision. Men det var på 90-tallet. Jeg var hjemme hos noen. Real Sports. Ja, jeg skjønner. Sword Quest er ganske wild shit. Her på boksen så står det Details inside. Play the $150,000 Sword Quest Challenge. Du kunne vinne en premie som var laget av gull. Kunne vinne ekte premie. Ja, det var en pokal kanskje, ja. Jeg mener jeg husker at det var et sverd, det. Men det er mulig jeg tar feil. Her er tegneserien tydeligvis. Ja, nei, du hadde flere deler. Du hadde et sverd. Du hadde pokal. Det var Philosopher's Stone. Det var flere ting du kunne vinne. Kult. Nei, det er sant. Det er ingen som kan... Det er ingen i dag som vil innrømme at de noensinne har sett disse angivelige premiene. Atari 5200. The Atari 5200 was a good idea gone horribly wrong. Okay.
The 5200 was a tragedy. The 5200 was a good idea gone horribly wrong.
The big problem that we had at Atari, the thing that killed the industry more than any other one thing, even more possibly than the E.T. video game, is that it was the first product life cycle. No one had ever been through a major success video game console life cycle. So where does it end? Nowadays, when somebody comes out with a new system, they already are designing the next system because they know the life of a system. They know a console is good for a certain number of years, and then it's going to die, it's going to fall off, and that's when we need to be ready and prepared to come in with the new system. Holy crap, you know, our first machine is finally falling off the cliff. We need something. We have something. We can take the 400, 800 computer, repackages the 5200, spit it out.
So the 5200 was basically what the 400, 800 was going to be 3 years before. It's a tough business. Business is cruel. And you know, like I say, I'll say it again, it was the first time anything was being done. No one knew.
And what happened was the Atari 5200, it grew very large. because marketing wanted perceived value, so bigger was better in some respects. And then marketing got really focused on the Intellivision, and Intellivisions had a bunch of buttons. They had a keypad, and they had this disc with 12 distinct regions. And so, hey, if we put an analog stick here, and one that doesn't self-center was the great idea, this will be a better marketing message than the Intellivision controller. And of course, it was a horrible experience. The company lost focus on what was important, and it was gameplay's important. You know, good games sell, bad games don't.
Next generation, because the 400, 800 was already last generation.
The engineering team and the creative team, the game designers, we were so upset, and we all felt that we were making a wrong decision with this controller, that we put together a petition to upper management, and we just explained that, you know, this is a great product.
Det jo en infamously dårlig kontroller og konsol, det der.
The control is lacking. We've got some other alternatives we want you to see. And my name's number 3 on the list of the petitioners.
See, I wasn't someone who signed petitions so much as talked to people behind the scenes, because I always felt that was more like the way you operate in a corporation.
Interessant.
And, but I definitely put the word out whenever I could that, like, you know, this is something we either should have done a few years ago or, you know, can't really do now.
We told marketing, hey, we could make this 2600
Det ikke typisk at markedsfolkene
They didn't want anything to do with that. They said they must be very
ikke helt
separate
I
and
takt
distinct.
med
We can't have
de som lager
backwards
produktet.
compatibility, which at the time
Ikke
we
det
thought
ganske sånn
might be
typisk?
a great feature. It's a good way to get people that have these Atari games already and keep them on the Atari platform instead of giving them an opportunity to jump to another platform. And so we designed the product specifically so that you could never have 2600 compatibility.
Kult.
About 2 months before launch, they demanded 2600 compatibility. And at that time,
Markedsfolk og
we had to build an
slipstreamer, ja.
adapter. And then we actually had to modify consoles that
Definitivt.
were already made, the first ones, to work with this adapter. And we called this thing the piggyback parasite.
Så du trenger jo markedsfolk, ikke sant? Som regel I et stort selskap. Men det alltid en utfordring å ha... Det alltid en utfordring å balansere behovene til... For de som lager produkter, de tenker ofte på hva det kunden vil ha. Mens markedsfolkene hvordan kan vi selge det til kunden. Det ikke alltid de visjonene overlapper.
We were just horribly embarrassed by that situation.
Det morsomt at du sier det, på den
There was some big time denial.
Det kan være litt frustrerende.
Around Atari, because nobody wants their parade rained on, and when it's the best parade you've ever imagined in your life, nobody wants to see a cloud. You just don't want to see it. So, we didn't.
Atari 5200, en flop. På mange måter begynnelsen på slutten for Atari. De lagde jo ting senere. Ja, Elon Musk I høyeste grad en spinndoktor. Steve Jobs til dels også, definitivt. Men Steve Jobs har I hvert fall laget programmer. Han har personlig laget programmer. Men det klart han ble jo mer hype man enn han var noe annet, sånn mot slutten selvfølgelig. Eller helt siden 80-tallet så naturtalentet til Steve Jobs var hype man. Og jo, han jobbet for Atari. Han lagde det ene spillet her. Han lagde Breakout. Her det 2 navn, Steve Jobs og Steve Wozniak. Begge de Apple-grunnleggerne. Stemmer det, Real Dozer? Steve Jobs var en utrolig hype man. Elon Musk er jo en god hype-man, men jeg tror den lakken har fått noen riper i seg i det siste. Hvis du fremdeles tror på det Elon Musk sier. Ja, det kan hende Musk drev noe programmering også, for alt jeg vet. Men Musk har i stor grad nå blitt ganske avkledd som en tulling. Men det er klart han skal ha kred for noen ting. Han klarte å gjøre Tesla klarte å gjøre elbil kult. Og den rollen han har spilt i det er sikkert viktig. Ja, jeg skjønner FN Wilborn. Ja, jeg tviler ikke på at Wozniak gjorde mesteparten av jobben. Det tviler jeg ikke på i det hele tatt. Atari 400, det var hjemmedatamaskin, ja. Se på det tastaturet, det ser jævlig komfortabelt ut. Good lord. De knappene stikker ikke ut en gang. Skal vi se hva Allison har å si. By the way, før vi begynner, litt kult at de markedsfører det til jenter allerede da.
How do you keep track of your customers?
My Atari 400 home computer. Excuse me, Dad.
Why Atari?
Shopped around. It's a lot of computing capability for such a low price.
You use it a lot?
Sure.
Stop to Pop, det er jo den klassiske duoen. Det er jo Jobs og Woz er jo akkurat som Carmack og Romero. Eller om du vil Paul McCartney og John Lennon.
Life's not all fun and games. There's homework I even program. Atari has lots of software, not all the others do. And of course, only Atari has games like Centipede.
Games?
Well, we executives have to unwind.
Atari home computers. Only Atari puts so much in it for you.
Artig. Så du sier at dette tastaturet er taktilt? Taktil feedback på det. Det ser helt grusomt ut. Her har du programmene. Kassettspillere, ja. Ok. Og Commodore 64, når var det? For dette er 1979. Commodore 64 var... 82. Så dette var ganske forut for sin tid, ass. Men nå var det jo Commodore 64 som gjorde hjemmedatamaskinen til noe alle kunne ha. Og som var... Det var jo en revolusjonerende maskin, Commodore 64. Det var hjemmedatamaskinen som alle kunne ha råd til, på en måte. Og... det som er morsomt å tenke på er jo at Commodore 64 er jo grunnen til at vi har det var grunnen til at mange lærte seg programmering og ble spilldesignere og musikere. The first gaming PC, det er vel å strekke det litt å kalle det for en gaming PC, men
I think the Atari 400, 800 were really the first home computers that I felt like were designed to be in somebody's home and for an average person to utilize.
Atari, you know, made some interesting decisions over the years. I mean, they were #1 in the world in making video games, but they saw home computers were coming. And Apple II was out, and they said, we got to compete with Apple for, you know, computers. So it came down from on high that we were going to make a computer like the Apple II, but better in some way. But the engineering department said, hey, we're video game people. Why are we doing this? But they were told, you will do this. So what actually happened was the engineers made the Atari 800 into the next...
Gavin thinks he's playing. Gavin's mother knows he's learning.
best video game player. It had
all
the sprite capability. It had coprocessors in there. You know, the first GPU in a computer was probably in the Atari 800. all of this stuff was going on in the engineering department, and yet the management thought we were making a computer. We were really just making a video game that we could make cool games on.
My participation was mainly on the prototype pre-production side. We had this very sophisticated, allegedly sophisticated, internal interactive test system called the PIT system that we couldn't get a single unit to pass. Labor Day 1979, can you guys work overtime over the weekend? We need to hand build some production units because we need to put them complete through the entire process. They need to be completely finished, consumer product in the box. We need these for J.C. Penney's so that they can make the holiday catalog. So we worked, I actually didn't leave Atari for about 3 days, hand building these units. And it was like 4 400s and 4 800s to ship on Monday to J.C. Penney's. They received them at their warehouse. They took pictures of them for the catalog, and then they immediately shipped them back to us. That was it. That's what we needed to do to get this product out.
My main contribution to the Atari 800 operating system, I created a language similar to PostScript that could draw lines and squares and circles and vector graphics drawn into the bitmap of the Atari 800 and put them into the operating system so that I didn't have to put it in any of my games. So I could borrow from the operating system stuff that I'd put in there and use it when making games. So yes, we were tasked with working on the operating system, but we did it our way. We did it in the video game method.
The idea came up that maybe I could get one of these machines for Christmas, and I thought I was going to get an Apple II because that was what I had at school and what I thought was cool. But I got an Atari.
Apple II, det var jo før Macintosh. Macintosh var vel 1984, var det ikke det?
And it was an Atari 800 with a tape cassette drive. You know, at first I was like, oh, it's not an Apple, but
Ketil har en XEGS.
Super exciting.
Også.
And then the more I got into it, you know, the more I
Ja, stemmer. Apple II var slutten av 70-tallet.
Probably piss off some Apple people.
Macintosh
it was really an amazing
1984.
machine. I mean, the graphics and sound on it were incredible, and it was a super fun machine to program.
Og den keynoten, så de ikke kalte det på den tida, men den presentasjonen av Macintosh var jo revolusjonerende. Både sånn måte å markedsføre hardware på, og så demonstrerte de at Macintosh kunne snakke og sånn text-to-speech og greier.
Yeah. And so that was really what got me
Så
started.
Apple var langt fremme på den tida. Dere vet sikkert at Apple holdt på å gå under på 90-tallet. De sleit veldig. Så kom Steve Jobs tilbake og redda de, basically. Og det viser jo at du trenger av og til en spinndoktor. Ja. Macintosh er sykt kule maskiner, ass. Utrolig kule. Du, hva er dette for noe? Modem, ja. 300 bits i sekundet. Nydelig. Jeg liker at modemet faktisk spiller lyd fra telefonrøret inn i...
Atari brings the computer age home.
Okay, Ma, what's the capital of Nebraska? Come on, I'm trying.
Atari home
Google
computers
it.
can teach you or reach you with important information anytime, day or night.
I already checked the computer. The Bears lost.
How about the Lions?
Så her er de basically på den tidas internett.
Oh, you owe me on that too.
Det er ikke egentlig internett.
And if your jump shot is a little off, we can help you there, too.
Hey, guys, how about a deal? The car tonight for Atari basketball.
In fact, there's no end to your possibilities with Atari home computers. They're easy to use and afford. But best of all, they just might be the wisest investment you'll ever make.
Watch this. Hey, Mom. What's the capital of Delaware?
Dover.
I told you she's smart.
Atari home computers. We've brought the computer age home.
The computer age. Minor 2049er. Basically en Donkey Kong-aktig greie. Juggles house. Creepy. No thank you. Atari 1200 XL. All the hits your computer is missing. Ja, så her jeg har et sammenlignet de direkte med konkurransen, ja. Commodore VIC-20. IBM PC. Ok, se på dette bildet her nå. Se på datamaskinene. Prøv å tenke in terms of hvilken år er dette? 1983. Hvilken av disse tror du fremdeles, hvis du skal velge to av disse som finnes i, hvis du blir spurt i 1983, hvilke to av disse her selskapene eller datamaskinene er å få kjøpt i 2022? Du hadde sannsynligvis sagt Commodore. Du hadde kanskje sagt Apple og Commodore, tror jeg. Men som vi alle vet, så er det IBM og eller basically IBM-arkitekturen og Apple, da. Atari ST. Correct me if I'm wrong nå, men Atari ST er den Amiga, basically den Amiga-aktige maskinen, er det ikke det? Det er den som er konkurransen til Amiga 500. Litt svakere enn Amiga, men han var basically i samme landskapet. Så han har grafisk OS og sånn. Du, se på det grafiske designet her. Det oser 80-tallet. Fargevalget og alt der. 1985. Atari XE. Atari XEGS, der er han. Der er han. En rimelig ugly ass maskin, altså. De der pastellfarga knappene der er de er fine. Du kan disconnecte tastaturet. Cool. Food Fight. Ja, dette ser ut som det er laget av Mattel. Jack Tramiel, ja. Atari Business Systems. Dette var en flopp, tror jeg. Atari ga ut en PC, IBM-kompatibel PC også, ja. Cool. En megabyte RAM. 2 megabyte RAM. Lord. Her er Atari portfolio kjent fra Terminator 2. Ja, det står her, ja. It famously appeared in the film Terminator 2. Ok, så han var ikke helt kompatibel med IBM-PC, nei. Men han kjører på 8086 basert arkitektur. Atari Falcon. Den har jeg ikke hørt om engang. High-priced collector's item I dag, ja. Du har Atari Falcon. Nice. Yoomp. The tunnel is where the game takes place. Dude, er ikke dette bare Tempest? Er ikke dette bare Tempest, altså har de kalt noe annet? The winner of Abbott Software Contest 2007. Og ja, dette er et moderne spill. Det er laget I 2007. Ah. Ok, og så folkens, dette er det jeg har hatt mest lyst til å sjekke ut I dag, for vi har sjekket ut masse. Hey man, tusen takk, Rolling Cupcake. Nice. Sweet. Så Atari prøvde seg på litt, de prøvde å konkurrere med Nintendo og Sega her. Som var yeah. New plan was to refocus on Atari's first strength, video games. De lagde 2 konsoler som begge var oppkalt etter katter. De lagde Lynx og Jaguar. Og Atari Lynx var faktisk en sykt avansert maskin. Langt forbi det Gameboy kunne produsere av grafikk og sånn. Men ja, som Real Dose sier her, så var batteritida horrendous. Det mest kjente Lynx-spillet som folk ennå spiller I dag er nok Chips Challenge. Som kom på Windows I sin tid også.
There were so many things near the end of my early days with Atari that I wished, like everything we felt was underappreciated. Like I bought a Lynx and I was trying to find people to play the Lynx with me and everyone else had a Game Boy. And I was like, you guys, Todd's Slime World, let's do this, let's play Warbirds, come on.
And the Lynx was totally Sam's baby. He loved the notion of the hardware. And Sam, man, he loved the Lynx into the ground, right? Against all odds, he wanted to make it successful.
Altså, jeg håper de viser hendene til noen ved siden av Atari Lynx her, for det er basically størst med et fucking skateboard.
Successful, we did the original one that was sort of the original design, and then he was like, no, we got to double down on it and do it and make it better.
Being in the Bay Area, you see these ads, come test video games. So I think I tried out at a few places. Electronic Arts comes to mind. Didn't get the job there, but was lucky enough to kind of get the QA job at Atari. Back in the day, I think it was a lot more fun. People playing 4 Lynx games and then having them all go out of sync and then having to track that down. Like, probably at the 1,000th time that happens, it does get a little old. But I think back in the day, you actually got a lot more input into the games. So a lot of the last Lynx games like Lemmings and some of the early Jaguar games like Cybermorph, the QA department actually got a lot of input into those games from a design perspective. You know what? I think the Lynx was great hardware. I like the fact that it was color. And I think the fact that you could have this like 4-way local multiplayer was great.
20 some years later, here I am buying a Lynx with a RGB output because people are still modding them, and selling them on eBay and stuff, right?
Konge. Lynx schematics. her ser du jo basically mye av det. Gameboy og denne her, og Game Gear, det er jo mye av det som har blitt smarttelefonen i dag. Du kan se smarttelefonen her. «160 ganger 102 piksler. Hvor høy sånn der PPI er det? Hvor høy PP? Ninja Golf. Atari 7800. Det var også en sånn floppa konsol. Og grafikken på det var sånn ikke så bra som NES en gang. Og kom senere enn NES. Se på dette her. This ain't good. Men ja, Ninja Golf. Men la oss se på noe Jaguar-ting. Her ser du, dette er Super Nintendoen var ute på dette tidspunktet. Super Nintendo og Mega Drive var ute på dette tidspunktet her. Så er det dette Atari holder på med. Så du kan jo tenke deg... Så her er det et Lynx-spill også. Skal vi se, er dette det? Ja, det er det første Lynx-spillet. Skal vi prøve det? Scrapyard Dog. Hvordan er det han rendrer Lynx-spill på dette, i denne samlingen? Fett! Cutscenes og greier. Ja, det var imponerende sånn gjenskaping av LCD-skjerm. Ja, det er ganske imponerende til å være en samtidig med Gameboy, for Gameboy har jo ikke farger engang. Som igjen, du skulle tro det var svakheten til Gameboy, men egentlig så var det styrken til Gameboy, fordi batteritid. Pluss at Nintendo var fantastiske utviklere. Og pluss at Nintendo fikk med seg Capcom, Konami, alle disse her. Og ja, fuck, nå snakker jeg mest på å spille her. Men Nintendo skjønte jo viktigheten av tredjepartsutviklere. Det er jo noe ingen kan leve uten. Du klarer ikke å gi ut en konsol uten det. Alle vet det. Det var ikke så obvious på den tida. Det var Scrapyard Dog. Turbo Sub. Turbo Sub is another game making good use of the Lynx's sprite scaling capabilities. Kult. Oh my god, se på dette her da. Interessant konspirasjonsteori i Super Nintendo Pilot. Kanskje det stemmer, for alt jeg vet. Wow, se på dette. Det er jo faktisk ganske imponerende. Det var en håndholdt fra 90, liksom, dette her. 1989. Dive. Åh! Dude! Wow! Ok, nå krasjer jeg jo. Dude, det var ikke lett å navigere, ass. Ja, de kom... Måten de kommer mot deg var helt messed up. Uff. Kan jeg... Ok. Det når du prøver å svinge unna, så... kommer de mot deg. Ja, Walkman var vel det som drev batterisalget. Wow! Ha. Ganske imponerende. Screen mode. Filter. Ok, du kan skru av LCD-filteret, så ser de rene pikslene. Imponerende med 60 FPS her også, da. Det må jeg si. Turbo Sub. Basket Brawl. Hvordan spiller det? Det er ikke... Det er ikke det Cinemaware-spillet, er det det? Hei, man. Super Ninja-pilot. Takk for 2 gavesubs til Demixor og Rolsekatt. Konge. Tusen takk. Jo, nei, det er bare hyggelig. Jeg synes det er konge selv. Gøy å sitte og se på disse tingene. Hvilket spill er... Real Dozer, hvis du er der ennå. Hva heter det Amiga-spillet som jeg tenker på? Som er sånn middelalder-greier. Defender of the Crown, ja. Det er ikke det. Det var ikke på Lynx, det. Push your mind to the edge. Så det var ganske imponerende grafikk på akkurat det bildet der. Det var sånn... Jaguar. Atari Jaguar. Nice, takk FN Wilborn. Tusen takk for sub. Atari Jaguar ble markedsført som en 64-bit-konsol. Han var ikke egentlig det. Uten at jeg... Ja, så... ok, ta en ting om gangen her. Her er kontrolleren. En forferdelig stygg kontroller. Hideous kontroller, vil jeg si. Ok, så de kalte den 64-bit, som er ren løgn. For det var det var 2 32-bit CPU-er. Og fair enough, 32-bit var jo ganske fancy på den tida. Dette er jo da en litt lignende approach som Sega Saturn skulle ta noen år senere. Men Sega Saturn var jo selvfølgelig mye kraftigere enn Atari Jaguar. Sega Saturn hadde 2 CPU-er, VDP1 og VDP2. Og hver av CPU-ene tegnet forskjellige ting på skjermen. Jeg vet ikke hvordan Atari Jaguar funker sånn egentlig. Men han ser ut som han koser seg. Se på han her fyren. Han ser ut som han har det gøy. Med sin Atari Jaguar. Cybermorph. En polygonal shooter, ja. Og ja, så var det et overlay du kunne legge på kontrolleren. Vi skal sjekke ut spillerne, jeg skal bare bla gjennom de først. Trevor McFur in the Crescent Galaxy. Hva er dette for noe furry bullshit? Hva er dette for noe furry-opplegg? A 64-bit gaming experience like no other. Spectacular 3D render graphics. Vi skal sjekke ut noen av de Atari Jaguar-spillerne her. Jeg skal bare bla gjennom de. Evolution Dino Dudes. Så Atari Jaguar eksisterer jo mellom PlayStation og SNES, basically, sånn tidsmessig. Og er vel for så vidt kraftigere enn SNES. Malibu Bikini Volleyball til Atari Lynx. Er det spillbart? Det er det. Nice. Skal vi se. Filter. Oh shit. Holy hell. La oss få se litt 16-bit today's her. Se på det. Fantastisk. Digitize speech litt grann nå. Ok, jeg kan ikke spille dette her, så det går sikkert veldig dårlig. Skjermen var jævlig vond å se på når han var sånn full size der. Ok, en gang til. Åh! Fuck det der. Okay. We're chewing up the competition. Dude, se. Er det innenfor? Er det der innenfor? Driver og liksom refererer direkte til konkurransen sånn. Edgy. Tiny Toons. Hey man, hey Bjuslo. Lynx kicks their butts. Oh ja, butt. Okay. 64 exploding bits of raw power. 16.7 million brain-burning colors. Tempest 2000. Samantha Fox Strip Poker, ja, der er spilt. Et 3D-kjørespill. Var Wolfenstein på Atari? Huh. Jaguar CD. Sjekk CD-romspilleren du kunne putte på den der. Dragon's Lair var på den. Cannon Fodder også, ja. Om jeg har spilt noe kult i kveld, Ngoni? Ja. Atari 50, det er et veldig kult museum. Veldig kult å se på alle disse museumsgjenstandene her. Wow. Missile Command 3D. Jaguar VR. Det er meg. Favoritt i collection? Helt ærlig så er det hele pakka. Men det lille vi spilte av den Asteroid Lunar Lander remake-greia, den var jævlig fett. Fight for Life, the final game developed and published by Atari for the Jaguar. Et polygonalt slåssespill. Oh my god. Huh. Og det går an å spille også. $2600 Homebrew, ja, det vet vi jo om. Yars Revenge er selvfølgelig veldig fett, ja. Skal vi ta oss og sort by platform. Se her, ja. Jaguar. Atari Karts. Wow. Jeg har spilt vel ekstremt lite Atari Jaguar. Må jeg innrømme. Dette er sånn We Have Mario Kart at Home-spill. Åh, wow. Et år før Mario Kart 64. Det er ikke bra for dette spillet. Men hei, 60 FPS i det minste. Åh. Yes, sirree. Men jeg husker godt at Jaguar var en ting. Men det var ingen som hadde det der jeg bodde. Knapt noen i Norge som hadde en, sikkert. Ja, dette er Mario Kart på SNES, basically. Bare kanskje ørlitt mer avansert enn det SNES klarer, men ikke mye. Bedre skalering enn SNES, ja, definitivt. Og ikke så verst styring heller. Ok. Ok, vi kjører ferdig i løpet, og så ser vi. Tokyo Drifter på disse fuglsene her. Oh my god. Taper jo. Ble jeg nummer 1? Det står first, da. Hva er det med den litt deprimerende musikken, egentlig? Ja, jeg ble nummer 1. Det har liksom ingen av finessen til... Ikke noe av charmen til Mario Kart. Men det du ser da, er at fargene er med... Den har definitivt bedre fargeskjerm... Eller skjerm, hører du. Han har definitivt flere farger enn det SNES klarer. Det ser du. Det ser du ganske tydelig. Club Drive. Oi, oi, oi. 5 polygoner på den bilen der. Collect the Powerballs. Dude. Wow. Det er dette serverer, ja. spiller Oculus. Dette er Oculus. Oculus Quest 3. Det er sånn... Onkelen min jobber i Meta, der har de allerede Oculus Quest 3. Og nå spiller jeg på den. Nei, jeg tror faktisk ikke det er VR. Eller... Skal vi se, hva står det? Er dette et av VR-spillerne? Nei. Nei. Det er ikke det. Det er bare meningen at det skal se sånn ut. Ser fortsatt bedre ut enn Metaverse, ja. Faktisk så tror jeg skal... For en gang skyld skal jeg gi det til Metaverse. Går det kan kjøre vers her? Fuck. Jo. Så der er det en tekstur på vinduet. Oh my god. Nei. Jeg vil se hva Trevor McFur er for noe. Jeg må se det. Vent nå litt. Ta så vent nå litt her. Er dette Star Fox rip-off? Er det det er ment å være? Jeg tror faen meg det er ment å være. Ja, dude, se da! Corporal McFur. Dude. McLeod, McFur. We have Star Fox at home. True barrel roll. Help, Fox. Dude. Dette var rough. Dette spillet var stygt å se på. Altså... Du kan fyre opp Super R-Type på SNES, og det ser bedre ut enn dette. Any fucking day. Det ser ut som et... Det ser flere år eldre ut enn det er, dette spillet her. Horribelt. Horribelt spill. Tempest 2000, det regner for å være det beste Jaguar-spillet ved siden av et som ikke er på denne pakka, som er det der Aliens vs. Predator, er det det heter? Eller er det bare Aliens? Tenk å betale 1200 kroner for å spille, ja. Far Out. Woo! Oh ja. Select level. Begynner på level 1. Fett musikk. Ok. Oh shit. Det var ikke lett å styre, ass. Ja, Lamasoft var tingen det. Nå fucker jeg jo opp massivt her. Jeg kan ikke akkurat si at det er den beste Tempest-spilleren. Ja, en spinner hadde vært bedre å bruke her. Nå bruker jeg D-padden, det var ikke helt... Nei, så misser jeg power. I fucked up. SPQR, det har jeg ikke hørt om. Men jeg vet hva SPQR betyr, men jeg har ikke hørt om et spill som heter det. Ruiner Pinball. Missile Command 3D. Åja, det har jeg ikke... Tror jeg ikke jeg har sett før. Vent, det står VR. Uh-oh. Ja, takk FN Wilborn. En god idé. Dette er jo da når vi kom til Atari Jaguar-delen av showet. Dude. Åja, shit. Nei, det var den byen. Play Nuclear War. Sorry, folkens. Skal du liksom... ok. Jeg er tom for missiler, selvfølgelig. Så... Bye bye, verden. Dette er det siste du ser. Ja, SPQR står for Senatet i Roma. Det står på alle... Husk, i Asterix så står det SPQR overalt. På alle de bannerne og sånn som romerne har. Og når du er i Roma så står det SPQR på sånn kumlokk og sånn. Det er liksom kommunevåpenet, basically. Cybermorph. Dino Dudes. Vi prøver Dino Dudes, og så gjør vi oss etter det, tror jeg. Har vi holdt på i snart 2,5 timer. Oh my god. Kan jeg gå av stigen? Sånn, ja. Skal vi prøve... Ok, vi kan prøve Cybermorph også. Jeg skal bare sjekke hva dette er for noe. Er dette Lemmings? Nei. Hæ? Ikke det, nei. Ok, vi prøver Cybermorph, eller? Polygonal shooter. Nå snakker vi. Wow.
Good luck.
Dette er jo Star Fox. Kan jeg... Sånn, ja. Ok. Draw distance. Oh, lord. Folk klager på draw distance i nye Sonic og Pokémon Violet. So, ouch. Turok har i hvert fall tåke.
Avoid the ground.
Ja, no fucking shit. Avoid the ground.
Well done.
Jesus, det var ikke så lett å styre. Oh my lord. Den A-en var litt sensuell, ja. Well done. Siv Stubbsveen, AI. Lord. Hva er dette for noe fight? Ja, det var det slåssespillet, ja. Sjekk ut den presentasjonen her. Pretty cool. Erotiske ASMR-AI, ja. Nei, men Siv Stubbsveen er jo kjent for å ha en sånn stemme. Inspiring Ready Player One, ja. Ernest Cline.
There was no console war.
Dude, seriøst, har Ernest Cline en DeLorean i garage? Selvfølgelig har han det.
In the beginning, there was, you know,
Selvfølgelig har
in the
han det.
beginning there was only Atari, and the children looked upon it and saw that it was good and bought
Jeg vil gjerne ha en
Atari and then asked for
nattønskesimulator, ja.
Atari games for every Christmas and birthday. The Easter eggs, finding the Easter eggs in Howard's game and Warren's game, you know, those were huge moments for me in my childhood, and my favorite early gaming experiences, especially finding that room in Adventure. You know, that path that everybody, whoever found the Easter egg, follows those clues, and then discovers this, you know, this secret room, this message hidden by the creator of the game, who I didn't even know who he was, and here's his name, and a whole secret room, you know, that most kids who play this game never found. I found this secret place left by the creator, you know, with a message for me. It was profound, and the first time that it ever happened in a video game. And so years later, when I was, you know, I think had the initial idea for Ready Player One was, what if Willy Wonka had been a video game designer? And what if he held his golden ticket contest inside a video game? And that immediately made me think of this secret room at Adventure and how that could be, you know, how he finds his worthy successor, you know, instead of a tour through the factory where he slowly kills off all the children. It could be an Easter egg hunt inside this, you know, sprawling video game, and it could be hidden.
Jeg har ikke tenkt på det, men Ready Player One er jo basically Charlie og sjokoladefabrikken. Det er jo basically samme storyen.
The way that those Easter eggs were hidden in the Atari games, and so that there's no way I ever would have written Ready Player One if I hadn't grown up with an Atari and playing those games and finding those Easter eggs.
As I was reading through it, there was just so much familiarity in there. It
Okay,
felt...
nå er det litt... Nikolai, nå lo jeg litt. Første ønske er fra Jakob fra Frena, så ønsker jeg å høre White Christmas.
Like, as I was reading it,
Jakob,
the
for the
person who had written
specific
it,
Jakob fra Frena.
like I grew up with them because some of the names that were in there, some of the locations, some of the references were things that I thought only I knew, and nobody else in the world would understand or appreciate any of it. My literal opening, my email to him before anything blew up on Ready Player One, my literal.
Folkens, han som introduserte 280 characters på Twitter I stedet for 140, han fikk sparken nettopp. Står det her.
Opening was just like, we have to know each other because there's things in this book that like only I know. Like, where did we meet before? That was the beginning of our full communication, which led to the stacks.
He read Ready Player One and it spoke to him, and he sent me an email that said, hey, I make video games for a living and your book really spoke to me, and if you ever want to make a video game, let me know. And I was right in the middle of trying to figure out if I could somehow do a promotional contest for the paperback that mirrored the contest in the novel. I wanted to do some sort of contest with 3 video game challenges and a grand prize at the end of it. And
Ernest Klein må jo være mange millionær, vel?
Because Mike made that offer, I took him up on it. I'm like, oh, well, we could make an Atari game that you have to.
Jeg visste ikke at han har sendt inn ting til LGR.
Wade makes in the novel.
Part of what
jeg
made the book
har sikkert hørt det.
feel
Jeg har
like
fått
it was
med meg,
written
for jeg har jo
for
sett
me
masse
is
LGR.
because of the context around the 2600 rite of passage in there. Because for programmers in the game industry, 2600 is this really difficult platform to develop games for. To get anything to even appear on screen,
Super
get anything to even
Nintendo-pilot. Det hadde
work
vært kult å
correctly,
være der.
you have to just break your brain and
Det hadde vært kult å være der, men samtidig så er det litt nice å leve I den moderne tida som vi I nå.
of everything that you understand about how games are developed today and go back to this kind of like primitive, primordial way of coding. And so for a lot of programmers, it is a rite of passage. If you can do that, you can do anything.
Wade makes his own game, and it's the Stacks. It's based on his life in the Stacks, and he describes it as a Pitfall ripoff that has you climbing around the Stacks trailers, looking for food voucher power-ups and trying to avoid like pedophiles, and it's like a 1-paragraph description of this game. But I sent it to Mike, and he's like, "Oh hell yeah!" And so I had dabbled over the years with trying to understand 2600 programming. I'd made a couple small games, a couple hacks. So when this kind of came around, it was the perfect excuse to just finally deliver something that was all original and build something from the ground up. Once it started to work, it was completely satisfying. I felt like I had mastered what the greatest engineers in the world have mastered before me, and that I finally had an understanding of it. And to get there, of course, I had to enlist some help. And so that help came in the form of Kevin Wilson, our CTO. I didn't mention this before, but we only had a few weeks to pull this off. So we were not only trying to learn 2600, but we're also given the time frame that basically ET had to try to get this game out the door. So we were reliving the worst of Atari's development history all over again, and I savored every second of it. In our original contest version, all the items are hidden in the same place, which is great because we had people making maps. For like the first time since they were kids, they were making maps of the stacks to remember, so if they died, they could go back and find where the items were. But then they added randomization, and now it might be one of the best Atari games ever made. Not to brag, but the stacks is pretty deep and pretty replayable for an Atari game. That's why I think Atari is always going to hold a special place in the hearts of people like me, just because it was, it was the first, and it was, so needed. We were so bored in the late 70s. We needed video games at home so badly.
Cool.
The fact that other better consoles came later is because they saw the giant cultural and economic behemoth that Atari immediately became. Atari created the video game industry, the home video game industry, and everybody that's come since then is, kind of building on what Atari created.
Det helt sant. Cool. For en kul samling dette her er. Virkelig verdt å sjekke ut. Ja, er det flere oppløsninger? Jeg tror ikke jeg skal bytte oppløsning på streamen. Nei, dette var virkelig verdt å sjekke ut, synes jeg. Dritfett. Så definitivt nye standarden for sånne samlinger. Så jeg håper dette inspirerer andre til å gi ut. Det hadde vært tenkt Sega-samling, som er denne kvaliteten. De der Sega-samlingene som har kommet, er severely lacking, etter min mening. Den på PS3 var den beste de har gjort. Alle Sega-samlinger de har gitt ut etterpå har vært ræva. Men de ga ut en på PS3 som var en sånn her på disk. Og på Xbox 360 også. Han heter for noe Sega Ultimate Collection eller et eller annet. Den er bra. Men selv den har jo bare Mega Drive-spill og et par arkadeporter og et par arkadeversjoner og et par Master System-titler. Den kommer... Jo, han kan ha vært på Steam også, men han er nok ikke til salgs på Steam lenger, fordi at Sonic 3 er en del av den pakka. Og Sonic 3 i den... Sonic 3... Sånn som Sonic 3 var den gangen, er ikke tilgjengelig lenger. Til og med den der nye Sonic-samlinga har ikke originale Sonic 3. Sånn, ikke egentlig, de har byttet ut musikk og sånn på det. Jeg er enig i Super Ninja Pilot. Dette er utrolig bra satt sammen, den samlinga her. Ja, jeg tror ikke det er den samlinga Real Doser. Jeg har den PS3-disken et eller annet sted her. Og en PS3 har jeg også liggende her, men jeg vet ikke helt hvor den er nå. Anyway, tusen takk for laget, folkens. Og så snakkes vi neste uke, antar jeg. Radical Nights er jo på lørdag. Digitaltmuseum.no, den skal jeg sjekke ut. Ja, nei, det var utrolig kjekt. Tusen takk for at dere kom innom og hang med meg. Og så takk selv, folkens. Veldig trivelig. Så ja, så vi er tilbake når vi er tilbake. Det kan hende det blir stream i helga Final Fantasy eller et eller annet. Men i hvert fall Radical Nights på lørdag. Og så er det en ny uke etter det igjen. Alright, snakkes folkens. Bye bye. Bye bye.